racing to the massive roar of the crowd, sending her forward, putting her right on the speed. Epic finish to the Everest. What a daring ride. Bella Nipotina wins the Everest. A thriller there at the end.
With Tim Gilbert and Julie Snook, this is Racing Dreams, the Everest.
Oh, good morning, good morning, good morning. Kaying Rising, just moments away from arriving in Australia. When I say moments, hours maybe, a day or so. The wonderful Julie Snook, how are you?
Good morning, Timmy. Good morning to you at home. The sun is shining here in the Harbour City. A big day of racing ahead and a big show coming up as well. Let's take a look. The $81 million Everest Carnival launches right here in Sydney today at Royal Randwick.
4 weeks out from the 2025 Everest, we'll go live to Coolmore to talk about their possible contender.
And one-on-one with the great Gerry Harvey as he reflects on 50 years in racing.
And a big happy birthday to Gerry. She had a birthday this week.
Oh, really?
I won't give it away.
Don't give it away.
No, he's looking absolutely wonderful.
I'm looking forward to that.
So happy birthday, Gerry. Today marks the start, it was not exactly today, a few days ago, the start of the $81 million Sydney Everest Carnival, with racing returning to Royal Randwick, and we'll cross to their track manager shortly. It's sparkling out there, Jules.
It certainly is. Let's bring in Nick Burney from the Sky Racing studio now. Good morning to you, Nick. Cracking day.
Julie, yes, it is a cracking day here in Sydney, but most importantly, a great day to have a couple of bets. So on the program, we're going to learn more about this Everest. We've got the return of Private Harry, Briasa, Jolie Star, and I can't wait to see Fangirl come back up to Sydney here, back to the Randwick Mile, which she loves so much in the Seven Stakes, and she's been very well back this morning, now into odds-on Fangirl.
Well, they're all over Private Harry like a cheap suit today. He is the most backed from what I'm hearing. But what about your best bet?
I got a couple today, Tim. I couldn't split these two, but I'll kick off with Disneck in race 3. So this is a horse that has had no luck its past two. So first up, it just got way too far back, and this was its second up now. It's the horse about 5th on the fence there with the black and white silks there with the white striped hat, and it has just had no luck here. In my opinion, it should have won this day, but the big fact for me is third up last preparation, it won, and that was over Randwick 1,200 metres. It's the exact same track and distance it faces today. And the extra addition, we get James McDonald on for the first time. So a couple of ticks there. And I just think, yes, again, it's going to need a little bit of luck. It is a horse that can get back. But I think if it weaves its passage through in this exact same grade with its track and distance record, I think it can run those big closing splits and run through them and be too good. And I think around that $3.10, $3.20 quote is a fair enough price to find out.
As you said, you can't split them today. So who's your equal best?
Photo
finish. Yeah, it is a photo finish. Idle Flyer. She won 24 days ago, and I did my post-race analysis, and I've been counting down the days for her to get back to the track. So I'm pretty keen on her today. They went up a good price. I still think she's a backable price today. So she's the horse, white hat, back to the inside. So this was only Wednesday grade. It was on a heavy surface, but just have a look at the way she accelerates. As soon as Zach Lloyd asks her here with the left hand, she just immediately goes bang. She puts them away in a couple of strides. That was over 1,250 metres. She now goes to the 1,400 metres and onto a bigger track, being Randwick itself. I think she's just come back an improved 4-year-old mare now. She's very, very likeable. I think she can keep working through the grades. I think we can see the best of her this campaign. If she just gets to the outside of these, I think she can be way too strong for them late. She can reel off, like Disneck, a massive final 200-metre sectional.
You got a bit of value for us today?
Yeah, the last couple, we've had some scratchings this morning, but that's okay. I think there's enough value here in Yellow Brick. So he's around that $5, $6 quote. And this is a horse coming through, it actually ran second in a Stradbroke handicap, second up last campaign. So I wanted to really take that pattern into consideration. And this was first up. But the thing about this race is it was on a heavy 10 surface. He's much more suited to back to the drier track today. This was over 1,200 as well. And what you see to the eye was actually a lot better when you really break down the clock. But the thing about this race is the horse that wins here is Lazura. She subsequently won a Group 2 race. The horse that ran second has placed in a group race. The other horse that placed is placed in now in a group race. So the form around is just dynamite. So all she has to do is reproduce an effort like that or improve off it. When you line up her rivals today, and I think she can take a lot of beating here around that $5 quote from a nice draw. She can camp up behind the leaders and be very strong.
All right, let's have a look at your out wide. It comes in Newcastle today.
Yeah, I've gone with Ruination. So this is the last race. So hopefully we can go right on with it. We don't have to blast out. He is short odds here. So I think he can be your anchor horse in the multis because I think he's really hard to beat today. So he's the horse outside the leader this day. This was on debut. So for a horse on debut to sit outside the leader in a race that was run at a very fast pace and still accelerate off that speed is a trait that I always want to take into consideration, that they can really bounce off an effort like this. Even when he hits the front from a long way from home, he's still doing it on raw ability. So he's another horse that steps up in trip today. But I think he can only learn from this experience. He doesn't have to go much up in grade here. I think he can really be hard to beat today. So all your multis, I think you can put Ruination in there in the last, and hopefully we can go right on with it late in the day, Tim and Julie.
Everyone's got their Samsung phones ready to take a photo of your graphic. Show us that graphic.
Yeah, so the best bet, I will go with Disneck in race 3, number 2. Going to go the equal best bet because I couldn't split them Idle Flyer, race 4, number 12. The value is Yellow Brick. That comes up later on in the day, race 7, number 2. And then we're going to come home at Newcastle, race 8, number 9. It's about 5 p.m. today.
All right, before we let you go, Nick, let's just have a really quick overview of today's conditions at Royal Randwick.
Yeah, so obviously at Randwick. So the thing about the rail here is it does go out to the 7 metres from the 1,600 metres to the winning post. So that's all the way on the other side of the track where the back chute there is the 1,600 metre start, and then 4 metres the remainder for the rest of the track. So what that means is on a good force surface that those horses up on top of the speed can be advantageous. So just take that into consideration. If you see those maybe races 1 and 2, those on-speed runners probably performing better than you may expect, just take that in the back of your mind that it might be hard to make ground. But the horses will be on today, should get their chance. They can be close enough on the speed map, the ones that I've produced. So I think they can be close enough and be too strong for some of these runners late.
Yeah, and the phone's clicking everywhere. The iPhones, Pixels, Nokias, Ericssons, all taking shots.
And the old pen and paper, if you're old school.
The old pen and paper. That's the old people writing in shorthand. I hope that you continue your good form today, Nick. Great to chat.
Me too, Tim. I hope we're back a stack of winners. I hope everyone has a great day as well.
Thanks, Nick. See you next week. Well, Kaying Rising, this Hong Kong superstar, he is Australia bound and we cannot wait.
Yeah, ready, just moments away from arriving here in Australia. Already a short price favourite for the Everest. I caught up with the great racing editor of the Daily Telegraph, Ray Thomas. He's the best, to get his thoughts on him and the huge spring racing on the way.
The reins shaken at the world's best sprinter, and Kaying Rising, he put 2 lengths on bottom up together. Kaying Rising well clear. It's an easy trick to base camp, now to climb Everest.
So as if we needed any more excitement, Ray, but Kaying Rising, I had the opportunity obviously to do Racing Dreams in Hong Kong, and it's an extraordinary jurisdiction. This guy's a superstar.
He is, Tim. I can't wait to see when he gets here on September 22, and then just how he settles in and prepares for the Everest on October 18. But to get the world's #1 sprinter, if not the world's very best racehorse, to Sydney for the Everest, just adds a whole new dimension to this huge race, which has become a phenomenon, hasn't it?
The travel variable is something you just mentioned, and it is something that's been mentioned by some of those that I've interviewed, including Michael Friedman and Peter Snowden. You've been in the game a long time. We've seen plenty of internationals come out here and do well. How big a variable is it?
It's an important one, but 20 years ago it was a much bigger issue. Horsemen can travel their horses anywhere these days, and the technologies are so much better than they were even 20 years ago. So look, it's still very, very important. Horses aren't machines. He needs to travel well. He needs to settle into a new environment. He's been so used to Sha Tin, and even a little thing like, for instance, Timmy, you would have seen where he's stabled at Sha Tin. He walks about 30 metres to the race day stall and out he goes. It's a totally different thing when he gets to Sydney. He'll be stabled at Canterbury. Race day will be a new thing for him. He'll have hundreds and hundreds of people out there in the stabling blocks prior to the race, the pre-race race day stalls. Will he get used to that environment? So all these little variables, including the travel, come into play. But if the Kaying Rising turns up that we've seen at Sha Tin, look out.
Bring on the Everest. It's Kaying Rising, and he wins it, and wins it well 2 1/4.
Let's stay on Everest Day. The King Charles and last year's Golden Eagle winner, William Haggis's Lake Forest is coming out.
He's back again, Tim, and that Golden Eagle last spring, if you go through the result of that race and the number of Group 1 winners, not just nationally but internationally out of the Golden Eagle, it is quite incredible. Lake Forest was an amazing performance to win. Yet again, another William Haggis horse who's won a Sydney Major first up. So come King Charles Day, he's going to be an attraction in himself, Lake Forest, and the mere fact he's trained by William Haggis, you've got to respect him.
Oh, he has the Midas touch out here, there's no question. Now, the Epsom, we saw Autumn Glow last week. She's a beautiful racehorse, she really is. I know that John and the team and all those involved, Chris Waller, have such a high opinion, and she's already odds on for the Epsom. That's unprecedented.
It is. She's into $1.70 as we do this interview, and I went back through the record books, Tim. This century, only one horse has started odds on, actually won the Epsom. That was Racing to win in 2006, but he only had about 9 rivals and he was too good. Autumn Glow could start any old price come Epsom Day if she draws the barrier. 6 starts, 6 wins. As you mentioned, she's a beautiful mare. She has an effortless action. We don't know the ceiling with her, Tim. We don't know how good she is. She hasn't been tested, but outstanding horsemen like Chris Waller, like the owner John Massara, like James McDonald, Karen McAvoy, who have ridden her, talk about her in the highest of regards. I think she's a champion in the making. We might see her earn that champion status on Epsom Day.
So that takes us to the Golden Eagle this year, and Autumn Glow already favourite.
Yes, $3.50 ahead of Lady Shenandoah, another Chris Waller trained mare, her stablemate at $4.50. The Golden Eagle hasn't been a great race, Tim, since it was introduced in 2019. The world's richest race for 4-year-olds only. Autumn Glow will go a different path to Lady Shenandoah. Lady Shenandoah is going via the Everest, and it'll be hard to beat in the Everest against Car Ying Rising. She was so good first up in the Concord, unluckily beaten by Headwall. Autumn Glow goes via the Epsom. Whether she runs in the King Charles, we'll wait and see, but all things being equal, they'll both be here for the Golden Eagle. What a race that'll be on November 1.
How good's the Sydney Spring, Ray?
How good's Randwick when it looks magnificent, weather's beautiful, the racing's off the charts. It's all ahead of us, Tim.
To the action today, of course, the spring underway. Who do we have a little bit on in the shorts?
Fascinating shorts, isn't it? We'll see 3 horses that are in the Everest. Private Harry Briasa, Jolie Star. Private Harry's trolling so well. I think he's the one to beat, but watch for Briasa and Jolie Star hitting the line and setting themselves up for the Everest.
We love Ray. We love Ray.
We do love Ray. We also love our next guest, trainer Adrian Bott. Joins us live from his Randwick stables this morning. Good morning to you, Adrian.
Yeah, good morning, guys.
How are you, Adrian? Royal Patronage. Tell us about it.
Yeah, he's in great shape. He's got a very good first up record, and we sort of obviously was entered for the 2 races. We were tossing up which way to go. Sort of went back and forth a number of times, but ultimately with some of the scratchings in the Bill Ritchie, even though he's got to carry big weight, just felt that the 1400 metres was the ultimate sort of deciding factor as opposed to tackling the mile at weight for age first up. He'll be able to take on those horses deeper into the campaign, maybe when he gets through to a race like the King Charles, but he's in good order for this first up run.
Vauban second up in the Kingston Town Stakes today.
Yeah, really pleased with Vauban. He's that was an excellent performance first up over the mile. I thought he stuck on very well. Showed good speed, which surprised me, that part of the preparation. So he seems to have trained on nicely. He seems a very happy horse at present. Just looks to be a nice natural progression for him. Looks very well placed here, and obviously he's a horse we're hoping to see a lot from, with some big targets throughout the spring campaign. So it's an important race to make sure he's right on track for us.
Well, let's go through a few of those targets because he's very short in the market. They like him.
Yeah, so off the back of today, we'll see him travel down to Melbourne. Most likely see him in the Turnbull Stakes next up on the way to the Caulfield Cup. He's got a pretty decent weight in there to carry, but I think once he gets out to that sort of distance, that's where he's sort of really at his best. So that'll be a nice race for him progressing towards the Melbourne Cup.
All right, we've also got Elamaz in the Kingston Town today. We're just watching that replay there from June.
Yeah, he's a very interesting horse. Obviously, I've only seen him on the one occasion here in Australia. He's very, very good on that that time, sort of through the winter. So he's got to bring that form to the spring here. Did have to ride him a little bit, sort of out of his comfort zone there, against his usual pattern. So there was a lot more merit to the win and the performance than what it may show. But today will be an interesting race. We're still learning about the horse. We'll obviously be able to analyse his performance today, and that might dictate where he sort of ends up for his next couple of runs over the spring. But you've got to respect a lightly raced horse that's got good form on the board. He's very consistent in his campaign, so I'd like to think he can show up for us again today.
And the Nick Moratis Trophy, Rock Empire resumes after a couple of nice trials.
Yeah, seems to be back in really good shape. May find them just a little bit sharp over the 1200 first up, but he'll be better for the run. And once we can get him out to that sort of 1600 metre range, seems to be his sweet spot.
I've got a nice little event in support of Mr. Moratis as well, the Cerebral Palsy Alliance.
Cerebral Palsy Alliance, it's a big event today, and it is September as well. I've got a nephew with cerebral palsy, so a reminder there, and Julie's going to be up front and centre for Cerebral Palsy Alliance. They do wonderful things, they really do. A little bit of a left turn back to the races with you, Adrian, and Dominetta in the agency over 1400.
Yeah, she was excellent first up. 1200 metres, a bit short of her best. So getting out to the 1400 metres today, I'd like to think she looks well placed here. And yeah, lovely race for her to show the necessary improvement.
We've also got Redbreast in the last, but we've also got some stunning pictures of the Australian Turf Club Everest Carnival launch. You were there having a close-up look at the Everest Trophy. Today marks the start of this $81 million carnival. It's just extraordinary these days. How's the team feeling? The sun's shining, spring's here.
Yeah, we've got an amazing day to kick it off. Yeah, sun shining here. There's a great buzz amongst the stable, and you can certainly feel the difference going to the races already. But it's it's a carnival that's just building momentum each year. Some great headline acts locally and internationally this year. It's going to continue to be another great build-up. So yeah, you get excited to be able to be a part of it. It's obviously the time of year that you want the team firing, and hopefully got a couple of nice chances that'll be able to carry us through the spring. Finally,
Kaying Rising, unbeatable in the Everest.
Oh, look, it's I'm as interested as anyone to see him come down. I think it's great that we're able to see a horse of his ability to be down here. I was lucky enough to be in Hong Kong for one of his recent international Group 1 wins, and no doubt is very impressive. But yeah, it's another variable, being able to travel, and we know that the difficulties that can sort of happen in or how tough it is to be competing against the best of the locals. So it won't be an easy task, but yeah, he's an amazing talent.
Adrian, lovely to chat. Thank you so much for your time this morning. We certainly appreciate it on a busy day. We'll catch up with you soon.
Thanks,
Adrian. Still to come on Racing Dreams, we're live to Royal Randwick for Sydney's Surf to Turf Day.
Plus, we sit down with the great Gerry Harvey to chat about 50 years in racing. Doesn't he have some stories to tell? That's coming up.
Racing Dreams is brought to you by Racing New South Wales and the Tab Everest, the world's richest race on turf.
It is great to have your company this Saturday morning. Let's go live to Randwick now for a check of today's conditions, and racecourse manager Dave Anderson is live on the track for us. Dave, how are you, buddy? And that track's looking sensational.
Oh, good morning. Yes, the track is looking in pristine condition this morning. Very happy with how it's pulled up.
All right, Dave, tell us what are conditions out there today? How's the track faring? And I guess what's the forecast as well? Because we've had a little bit of iffy weather around Sydney this week.
Yeah, we've had quite a good week leading into it. We had 4.4 mils of rain last night into early this morning. We applied 4 mils of irrigation on Thursday morning. It's topped the track right off to be in pristine condition for today's racing. Forecast is for a nice sunny day. The winds will be turning around from the northwest to the southwest later in the day, and they'll tip up to about 35 kilometres, they're saying.
So what are we today? Are we just on the edge of the soft and the good range, or?
Yeah, that's correct. We're in a good 4. We're in the good 4 range, just on the top of it. Pano's at 5.24, so that's just right on the edge, and the going stick's 9.7.
We're having a look at some vision now of the team, the ATC team, putting the finishing touches on everything trackside. A lot goes into this, of course, today, the start of the Everest Carnival. How is it looking? How's the team feeling?
Oh, the team's feeling very excited about the couple of weeks that we're going to have ahead of us. Big into the Everest Day. It's going to be fantastic. The track has really come on from the rain last week, tipping into the spring, and you can really see how the warm season grasses are really starting to come through.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Michael Wood's gone on to take a larger role overseeing all the tracks, and it's a new gig for you. It must be a real privilege to be overseeing one of the legendary racing tracks of the world, really.
Oh, it's an absolute privilege, an absolute honour to be selected from a field to lead this team as the racecourse manager, and Michael moving up into the general manager's role has really helped me as well. And the team below me, with Jake Carlaw as the assistant track manager, he has been sensational for me, easing me into the role, I suppose. But they're a great team and they're very excited.
We have a huge day of racing ahead. We're just looking at some lovely colour shots there. Thank you very much for joining us, Dave. Lovely to see you. Congrats to you and the team, because it does look picture perfect out there this morning.
Thanks very much. They do a sensational job.
Yep, we'll catch up with you through the carnival, Dave, out there at Royal Randwick. Now, legend's a term used way too often. We know it is, and I probably use it too much myself. But our next guest is a bona fide 18-carat gold legend. So much so that even when it came to his little name super for this package, I didn't know what to put, because he doesn't really need any introduction. Gerry Harvey has been racing horses for over 50 years. You can see the passion when he talks about them. And Timmy, you sat down with him. For Racing Dreams.
Racing. From Starcraft, Severnville the leader. Fields of Omar is starting to come after him on the outside, and Starcraft, Severnville the leader. Fields of Omar and Starcraft trying hard, but Severnville 3/4 of a length to Fields of Omar second.
Well, I sold him as a yearling, and he was in the stable at the Magic Millions next to a horse called Royal Descent. And I thought, you know, I sold both of them, 400 grand for one, and I think 250 for the other, or something like that. And then Severnville became this great horse, and I'd sold him for 400. And then a few years later, I bought a 1/50th share in him for 400, right? So I've still got a share of Severnville. I've got 2 mares going to him this year again. And he ended up this great horse.
And an amazing sire.
Yeah, he's right up there. And so he's still alive. I don't know how old he is. He must be 23 or 4 now or something like that. But he'll serve 100 mares this year.
And we can see the horses behind us here. One of them's a former racehorse, and that's part of the Magic Millions, isn't it, in January?
Yeah, so Kate organises all that. She loves all the thing with the ambassadors, you know, Billy and Zara and Mike. And so then she started the show jumping, and then she started the polo, and then with horses that were competing in the show jumping, they're ex-race horses. So that it's looking after horses that have raced and giving them a home later on. It's become a very popular event on the Gold Coast, and it ties in nicely: polo, show jumping, Magic Millions, all the functions we have, and it's such a big day. Magic Millions is the biggest event in Queensland tourism, and that the horses on the beach goes all across the world. Imagine how good that is for Australian tourism.
It's End Assembly in front. Hawaii 5-0 on the outside. Yellow Brick is leaving it late, but is running home. End Assembly, Hawaii 5-0. Hawaii 5-0 taking over late. Flashing Yellow Brick, but Hawaii 5-0's won from Yellow Brick.
Here's Hawaii 5-0. Oh, he exploded. 200 metres to go. The Guineas is over. Just like that. Atmosphere, Cote, Sizzle Manizzle, Razita they box on, but how good that? Hawaii 5-0, what a win.
Hawaii 5-0, now standing at stud.
Yep, he raced at about 610 kilos. And I've said to trainers, tell me a horse that you've had that raced at 610 kilos. And they, I don't think I've had one. I said, but this horse raced at that weight. He was a big horse. He's the full brother to Libertini. So they both raced in the Everest and were both fancied horses in the Everest. To get a brother and a sister to race in an Everest, to me that's like, how do you breed them much better than that? His first foals have hit the ground. Whew. Like, I looked at one the other day, the picture of them, wow, I've never seen a better looking foal than that. And the owner is like, I'm going straight back. I want one that looks like that. So I've got a horse that's bred the right way. He's a big, strong horse. He's going to throw great foals. And I'm supporting him. Like this year, I'm going to send 70 mares to him. I mean, I love this horse. If you said to me, what's the horse you love most in the world at the moment? Hawaii 5-0.
What about the Sydney Spring? And there's so many options for so many people.
V'landys has done a wonderful job. You know, I think he's probably done as good a job or better than anyone ever that I've seen in the racing industry. I mean, there would be no Everest without V'landys, right? And so the other races he's done and the way he's brought the country horses to Sydney and all the rest of it. So he's done a bloody wonderful job. And so Sydney racing now is more exciting in a lot of ways than Melbourne racing. And like in the spring, Melbourne owned it. Right? It's still big in Melbourne, still wonderful. But Sydney's wonderful too. I don't see why it's not a good thing to have that rivalry. And it boosts the whole industry and the sport.
It's an amazing industry, isn't it, Gerry? Like you've been doing this a long time.
1972, when I bought those first mares, so it's 50 odd years. To me, it's a passion, right? And I love breeding horses, right? It's an interest, it's a great interest. And it's every day you wake up and you know something's going to happen just in the horse business. Forget about the business. Selling fridges is great, right? I wouldn't be in the horse business if I didn't sell fridges, by the way. So, but it's a lot to look forward to every day, and it makes me want to live forever.
Your company for Sydney Surf to Turf Day at Royal Randwick. The sun is shining. Shana Cass in the studio.
Morning, Jules. Morning, Timmy. Yes, it's a $1 million dress rehearsal for the Everest today. I mean, we talk about the football finals. You know, these are the semis now. They're the prelims to the big one, to the Everest, because we've got the Concord Stakes on today. 3 horses that are in the Everest.
The shorts today.
Oh, the shorts, I beg your pardon. Yeah. So 3 horses that are already in the Everest, and they're pretty much the next 3 in betting, including the 2 most likely, if they're going to beat Kaying Rising, the 2 that the punters think are most likely.
Yeah, they're all over Private Harry. I mentioned that before. But let's have a look at Overpass, because Henry and the team have taken Overpass as their slot for the Everest, and Bjorn Baker, as expected, all over socials, very, very happy, jumping out of his skin out there at Warwick Farm. Yeah, look, you couldn't be an Everest without Bjorn Baker. He kind of is going to make it pretty enjoyable. But look, with Overpass, the reason they've gone for him so early, which is a good sort of strategy, is the horse is so effective first up. I mean, he's had 9 runs first up for 4 wins in 4 seconds. So this way, Bjorn knows exactly how to get the horse to the race. He doesn't have to do anything. He doesn't have to try to win a slot by racing beforehand. He'll get the horse there in its perfect condition. It'll be 3
Everest now for Overpass. And look, I suppose the logic in picking him for any number of reasons, but he'll probably beat more horses home than beat him, just the way that he races. He'll be up on the speed the whole way. And look, it's a matter of the prize money's in descending order, obviously. You know, if you can run second, third, fourth, fifth, you're going to beat all those horses that finish behind you. And I'd say Everest will beat more than beats him.
Well, David Hayes was a little worried that he might see Lady Shenandoah in this year's Everest. Now he does.
Well, yeah, I mean, you heard Ray say before, Lady Shenandoah's on her way through to a Golden Eagle. I mean, amazing to think she's in a $20 million race and then 2 weeks later is going to win a $10 million race and could potentially win both of them. I mean, I suppose the thing about Lady Shenandoah, the fact that she's been taken up by Fairway Thoroughbreds, John Camilleri, he had Sunshine in Paris, who's now not in the race. But I think there's a lot of similarities between these two mares, or the filly and the mare that's just been retired, because they're both very strong at 1400. If this is a high pressure, when this is a high pressure race over 1200, you might need a horse that can get back and be strong late. And I would imagine Lady Shenandoah is going to be in that sort of bill, same as Jolly Star. Lady Shenandoah was an absolute certainty beaten behind Headwall in the Concord, so we know she's up to that level. And look, she's still untapped. We don't know where she's headed.
Well, there's very few better judges than the great John Camilleri, good mate of mine and smart, and Lady Shenandoah, as Julie mentioned, David Hayes. The way that she came out in that last start.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, she's the horse that's probably got the strongest finish in the race, I imagine, from coming from behind. But it all comes down to can a horse finish from behind and run past some of these horses that are going to be running potentially track record times. But, as long as you're strong late, it's better that way.
Now, Matthew Smith, I've been texting with him and disappointing, isn't it? It's difficult. It's a tough game when you have a horse like Headwall and ruled out.
Yeah, look, it's a great shame because obviously Matthew Smith, to start with, is one of the nicest people in the industry. And look, he had a horse here who was a genuine chance. I mean, Headwall has gone from basically what we said about him a couple of weeks ago, a horse that won the Warra Stakes at Kembla, albeit a good race, into a genuine Group 1 horse. I mean, he was running in new markets, he was running in quackers and placing in them too. So, it was Matt Smith's year with a horse that potentially could have been the real roughie of the race, that could have blown a few of these sort of big name horses away, but it's not to be. But I suppose what it does do is it opens up another 5 slots. We've got 7 picked, as we said at the start of the show, so there are 5 slots still to come, and you wouldn't know who they're going to be, quite frankly, and we might know more today, but it could be a smoky.
Well, just on that, we've got the shorts today, which is being dubbed a bit of a mini Everest. Jolly Star, Briasa, Private Harry has been trialling so well. I saw some pictures of him at the stables this week. He looks incredible.
Well, he does. Interesting, guys. This will be Private Harry's first run at Randwick. He's chosen a big day to do it, but his other races, he's been away. He's not going to have a problem with Randwick. The track's in absolutely perfect condition. But look, they're talking him up, and so they ought to be. I've read the owner this week has been saying he's not going to get any better this campaign, that he's 100% ready to go. So, and he even used the word, I love it, the cliche, he's going to make a statement. And look, the statement he's going to have to make is for David Hayes, not for the Australian horses, because look, he probably has them covered. Probably has these Australian horses covered, but he's got to come out and do something pretty spectacular today, I think. Well, he's got to win if you think he's going to beat Ka Ying Rising, because I heard you ask Adrian Bott before if the race is over, and trainers don't normally throw in the white towel before the start of the race. But
that was a niggling question, wasn't it?
Well, everything so far we've seen until today looks like it's Ka Ying's race to lose. But as I say, if Private Harry makes that statement, we'll all have to think twice.
Does Fangirl win today?
Well, you'd imagine so. And that's a great race, by the way. The 7 stakes worth $1 million a mile at Randwick. There's no better distance or track. That's the 2003 King Charles winner against the 2004 King Charles winner. That's Cheerwolf v Fangirl. Look, Timmy, I'll go as far as I don't think there's a more popular horse in Sydney than Fangirl. She's so well named. Everybody loves Fangirl because she puts in every single start. The punters love her because she wins more often than she loses. James McDonald's got a massive record on her. And the one thing Fangirl needs is a good track. You saw before, it's absolutely perfect for her. Cheerwolf's got to get his campaign back on order if he's going to win a King Charles again. But at the moment, Fangirl back in Sydney from Melbourne, which she didn't want to be there. She's at her home track today, basically, where she races her best, and it's going to be a great race.
We've also got the T-Rose for the fillies. Other Archibald stables, Neesham Archibald stables, going well at the moment. You look at the fields today and they've got runners everywhere.
They do. They've got probably the horse to beat, or if not one of them, in the T-Rose Tupacaro. Tupacaro's was a runner-up last start in the Furious, but James McDonald jumped off and said more ground next start. It's exactly what we get today, 1400, and she's one more run into the campaign. She's second up. So she's going for the Flight Stakes, which is the culmination of the Princess Series, the Group 1. And right now, James McDonald's going to ride her, which is a real plus. And she's a horse on the up. So it could be Archibald's looking at a Group 1 in a couple of weeks' time.
And very, very quickly, it looks like if Jeddah Bill does well today, Mulberry may just go there for the Everest. Well, great to have Lachlan Sheridan on the show.
Absolutely. I mean, let's not forget, this horse won a Challenge Stakes, and I looked at his time this morning. He ran 55.67 seconds, which is really quick. And the market today, he's been hovering around sort of $15, $16. And if you think of all the horses, as I mentioned, 3 of them are already in the Everest. He's not. That's market respect for this horse. So I wouldn't be surprised if Jeddah Bill, I don't think he can win, but if Jeddah Bill flies home today and runs a good 3rd or 4th, pick him. You got the slot.
Yeah, they are moving quick, Mulberry. They'd love to have their own horse. Good to see you, Shona.
Likewise.
Now, it's a big couple of months for the man behind the microphone, Darren Flindell.
Sure is, Timmy. He will call all the heart-stopping moments. Darren spent 14 years in Hong Kong, so knows all about the excitement around Kaiying Rising. He also has a huge opinion of one of our homegrown, Autumn Glow.
Autumn Glow protecting her unbeaten record, and this magic mare makes it 6 out of 6. Autumn Glow, a big win in the Theo Marks.
Her win on last Saturday was just outstanding. I was looking at the prices of the Epsom prior to the race and thought around 230. That's pretty short. Now she's into odds on. And when you look at the likely opposition in the Epsom, you sort of get it. To be 6 out of 6, who knows what her ceiling is?
It's unprecedented though, isn't it? Or very, very rare to have a race like the Epsom with a horse so short.
It's very rare to have such a talent that's unbeaten. Quite often it's a handicapper, you're looking at horses getting in with a light weight, and with her profile, she's going to be very hard to beat. But the way she let down at the end of the sprint the other day, can't question Chris Waller. If he's preparing her for this mile race, I've got no doubt she'll run that journey out. She's very exciting.
Let's have a look at the shorts, because it's another one of these previews for the Everest, and let's have a look at a few of these horses that we know that are already in there. Private Harry.
Yeah, Private Harry, outstanding horse. The way he's working, he looks as sharp as ever, so you know he's going to run extremely well. Briasa, the TJ winner, been watching his trials. He looks spot on, ready to go. And then you've got Jolly Star that bypassed the Scirocco last Saturday, which I think would have been pretty much a give-me had she gone that way. But Chris Waller deliberately wants to put the 4 weeks between runs going into the Everest, so he's pulling the trigger in the shorts on Saturday over the 1100 metres. I think Private Harry Briasa at that distance might have an advantage over her, and let's not forget Jolly Star's been there. She wasn't good enough last year, and I think this race is shaping even stronger this time around.
And we've got this Kaiying Rising, this Hong Kong superstar, already a short price favourite for the richest race on turf.
When you watch his performance in the Chief Executives Cup, first up there at Sha Tin, they had a lot of rain, heavy rain. And I was pleased to see that, because I thought, I want to see how he handles the wet track. Will that be any issue? And it wasn't.
They're racing. He was about 3rd or 4th out, but it's Kaiying Rising well clear. It's an easy trek to base camp. Now to climb Everest. Kaiying Rising.
He's run the time of 107.6. Now the track record here is 107.33. So he's only 3/10 outside the Randwick track record. I know different tracks, but on a very much rain-affected course, and he was just idling along, absolutely toying with them. So really, I mean, in reality, they've got to get on the flight, they've got to get here and go through the whole quarantine process. Things can go wrong, but on face value, I don't see how they're going to beat him.
What will be the optics of Hong Kong, do you think? Because people, you and I have discussed this, we've done Racing Dreams Hong Kong as well. People live and breathe it, so they'll be watching Kaiying Rising with huge interest.
I know one thing, if you're backing Kaiying Rising, forget about betting on the tote. The World Pool will be in operation. You'll probably go out $1.10, $1.15 on that World Pool. If you want to back him, make sure you take the fixed odds.
Like me, you're a rugby league tragic, born and raised on the sport. Last Sunday, that Canberra-Brisbane game was off the charts. It was remarkable. What about this weekend? How do you see these games going? I know your Tigers aren't there, but they showed promise through 2025. How's this weekend going to go? And I'll get your crystal ball moment of who's going to win the comp.
Well, they've got the home ground advantage again this Saturday, so that's got to be huge. Because it's being played in Canberra again, I'll go with them over the Sharks. I really thought the Bulldogs were much better last week against Melbourne. In Melbourne, whether that's good enough to win this Sunday, I've got my doubts. That the timing at Penrith has just been absolutely coming with precision here, and they've got the record. Yeah, I do have a leaning for Penrith.
Will they win the comp?
They could. They really could.
And finally, back to racing. Kaying Rising will win the Everest with the leg in the air.
Yeah, very hard to see him being beaten, Kaying Rising, and I think we'll have to work out how we can make money out of the race and focus on the exotics, whether it's Private Harry, Briasa, Jolly Star, Lady Shenandoah. Her run in the Concord first up was brilliant. She could be the one to run second.
It is wonderful to have your company here on the little engine that could. Racing Dreams and Coolmore. What a place. And we still don't know who the Everest slot is going to be.
Wow.
Maybe Australian racing manager John Kennedy can break news right here on Racing Dreams. Who are you running in the Everest, John?
Oh, you're putting me under pressure. Morning, Julie. Morning, Tim. We've got a bit of a headache on our hands. The Everest is a race, obviously, that we've got a great connection with. We won it with Yes back in 2019, and we've been slot holders since its inception. And as we know, it's beginning to become one of the sprint races in the world. And this year, more than ever, we'd love to be in there with a winner. So we've got plenty of good 3-year-olds. We are extremely excited with Wotan at the moment. He's come back in very good order, ran a lovely race in the San Domenico, and we are looking forward to the Golden Rose. And if we were looking at one at the moment, he'd have to be a talking point, and we'll review it in a week's time. But we're definitely excited about how he's going.
I was chatting to Tom Magnier and to Paddy about life on the farm at the moment, and it's obviously always very busy out at Coolmore. It is one of the most spectacular places on earth. I absolutely love it. But how does this carnival roll on to the farm? I hear everyone's up and about and just really excited.
Absolutely. We've got a young team here in the farm. Absolutely love our racing, love going to Sydney on Saturdays, getting involved, and there's a huge excitement here around the farm leading into the Everest Carnival. I think it's definitely one of the highlights for a young person working in the industry at the moment is following the racing this time of the year. And if you're involved in the industry, I think that this is one of the most exciting times to be involved, I have to say.
One of the things that I love about this industry is, from a news cycle perspective, and Julie and I are both journalists, is the way that the news turns around on itself. You know, you have a wonderful racehorse. Not long after, a few years later, they're in the next phase of their life, and Shinzo is one of them.
Yeah, he's a homegrown Golden Slipper winner. We followed him along from the foaling units to the racetrack, gave us a great day out, and they won the Golden Slipper. I do believe quite a few guys working here backed him at 150 to 1, so wow. He gets a carrot every morning.
Two.
But yeah, no, seriously exciting, incredible racehorse. He's got the pedigree and the looks to go with it, and he is off to a flying start. He's actually has his first foals being born in the foaling units at the moment, which is seriously exciting. They are they're ticking all the boxes, and he's been very popular with the breeding fraternity on the back of them, I can tell you.
Well, obviously the Everest is a much younger race, very much in its infancy, but yes, winning in 2019. What has that done from a breeding perspective?
From a breeding perspective, I think the Everest has really come into it's one of these stallion-making races in Australia now. It's attracting star-class fields. The best sprinters in the world are looking at it. And when you can go and win it with a 3-year-old colt like Yes, it really makes his commercial appeal in the breeding barn. It brings him up to the next level, I have to say.
And it makes complete sense, getting back to Wotan, that he will be, because he's come back beautifully with that second in the San Domenico, as you mentioned. If he ticks the boxes in the Golden Rose, it does make a lot of sense, because you guys do like to put your own horses in this slot.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a big ask for 3-year-olds going into that race. They're taking on the big boys for the first time in their career, but and it takes a special horse to do it. But I think that at Coolmore we're always trying to raise the bar, and definitely with a horse like Wotan, we think he's a very, very exciting prospect, and we'd love to see him targeting that race. We'll see how he goes over the next week or so. He was unlucky there in his last start. We're watching the replay.
Yeah, just as a little reminder there. Sorry about that, John. But just in terms of, I suppose, Wotan, this whole concept, what are you making of the field that we've got so far with this Everest? There's so much talk about this international in Kayin Rising.
Yeah, I think just from a racing fan, I have to say it's a really exciting field this year, and I think Racing New South Wales have done a fantastic job. Not just getting the people there, but it's really a talking point amongst amongst anyone on the street in Sydney, more or less. They're asking what's going on at the Everest, and I think that people are really planning their social calendar around getting there on that day, and we're really, really looking forward to seeing what happens. It's going to be a really exciting race, and obviously getting horses like Kayin Rising to make the trip across, it's only going to bring more appeal onto the day, I have to say.
We had Peter Tighe in the studio on our first show back for the spring, and obviously Winks Colt now going up for auction at Inglis at the Easter sale. Plenty of excitement around that.
Yeah, it was Winks' birthday last Sunday on the farm, so we had a little party for her. Peter and Paddy, they were down actually to visit and to give her a few carrots. She's an unbelievable mare. You pinch yourself when you get to look after her every day. She was born here at Coolmore, and obviously came home when it was time for her to start her next chapter. And there's a team of people that look after her every day, and they know her better than me, but they do a fantastic job. Selling the Piero filly out of her last year at Easter was it was unbelievable. She set a world record for the most expensive filly sold in the world. I think that she's gone to a great home with Debbie and Chris. She's really transformed. I saw her recently. She looks fantastic. And her baby brother, he's got big shoes to fill, but
it's going to be a massive, massive story, John. We've run out of time. Basically, you've nailed this. Thank you so much. We'll do it again.
Thank you very much for having me. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, John, and thank you to our great sponsors at Racing New South Wales. We'll see you again next week.
See ya.